All right, greetings, math people. Today I have maybe more of a question than a lesson. And the question is, why is math such an outlier in terms of academic courses? For instance, it is very common to see people nowadays, brag, close to brag about their inability to do mathematics. It's somewhat of a badge of honor for most people. Parents are in no way ashamed to say, I wasn't ever good in math. And people say, oh, I'm not that good at math. There's no shame in such a declaration. However, people that are illiterate and can't read will hide that fact. They would never give that fact to their kids. That's something they will hide. That's something they'll be very embarrassed to showcase. But it's not the same for mathematics. For some reason, you would hide your inability to read, but you would openly disclose your inability to do mathematics. Also, in school, so I'm talking secondary school, high school, middle school. It doesn't happen that much on a college level. Kids in secondary school always have the question, doing mathematics, of all the courses that they take, with science being the only exception, of all the courses that they take, the most practical in application to real life, the ability for you to see me via this camera, for me to be in a room on a second floor and be very confident that the floor wouldn't cave in, all of that is based off mathematics and science. So it's the most applicable of all you learn in school, mathematics, along with science. But yet in secondary school, what do students always ask? When am I ever going to use this in life? Well, it depends what you're going to do in life. So I think really what you're saying, what you're trying to ask is, how is this used in life? And the answer is, it is way more impactful and way more useful than anything you learn in any other class. Now, it's hard for you to see that now because there's levels to this. If you want to be a doctor, what you're going to learn in high school biology is not going to teach you how to do an open heart surgery. There's levels, so there's certain levels you got to go through and get to the certain point where you can really see how it's used. Of course, textbooks and teachers, we use some examples of how some of the math is used in real life. Some of them are realistic examples. Other of them are a little more bubblegum, because to be quite honestly, how math is really used in real life is very complicated. And it would take multiple years of grad school math to really understand. You're not going to understand it in your 9th grade Algebra 1 class. You're not going to understand it in your middle school pre-algebra class. I mean, it's just the truth. Just as you're not going to understand the histology of the human body in your 10th grade biology class. So there's certain levels you got to go through for this. But the interesting thing is, when you're learning prepositional phrases or learning about Monroe's doctrine, or learning how to conjugate a verb in Spanish, you very rarely hear students ask, how am I going to use this in life? When you're reading Macbeth, you very rarely hear students say, how am I going to use this in life? I'm not saying they don't say it, but they're more apt to raise this question in a math class than any other class. My question is why? Why is math the bad guy? So just think about your high school schooling. Let's think of your high school schooling, and let's think about the stereotypes. So if I ask you, what's the poster child course for a difficult course in high school, what would you say? calculus is the poster child. It has the reputation of being the hardest course. Maybe physics is a close second, but physics and math, they're very close cousins. So I can consider physics mathematics as I want to. Why isn't it some advanced English course that can be very challenging? Why isn't it some advanced economics course that has its challenging aspects, or some government course, or world history, or whatever? There's a certain stigma. There's a certain ambiance as well, but there's a certain stigma in mathematics that I really don't get. And my question is, why is it like that?